Vince Lombardi, the legendary coach of the Green Bay Packers, started his first player meeting saying, "We're going back to the basics, the fundamentals, because that's where mistakes are made and victories are won." He pulled out a football saying, "This is a football." Hi, I'm Donna Newman, and my thinking like Vince's is when you have the fundamentals, you can do anything well.
And the fundamentals for Twitter are namely what I call the 16 super effective ways to dominate for a realtor. And when you implement these actions, you will have the ability to leapfrog your competition. So let's get started. What is Twitter? It's known as the world's largest microblogging site with 500 plus million global members who post more than 170 million combined tweets per day. That's a lot of texting. 140 characters or less goes into every status update. A status update is either referred to as a status, a tweet, or a post. And you can think of a tweet much similar to a text message. Every tweet allows you as a business owner to do three things: connect your brand to new followers, deliver better customer service, and gain website and blog traffic. Not bad. The biggest tip I can give you here, not just for Twitter, but apply this to every social media platform: don't broadcast. Rather, engage in a dialogue with your followers. Let's talk about where we're headed in this video. I'm going to give you 16 exact ways that your real estate business can benefit from Twitter. So here's a big picture table of contents, and after I identify these 16, I'm going to go into each way and show you exact actions to take to achieve it. Idea number one, claim your Twitter handle, it's also known as an ID or username, and upload a good photograph. Idea number two, business headline, also called a bio, matters. Idea number three, customize your homepage for the power of the first impression. Idea number four, who to follow. Idea number five, create tweet lists for efficiency. Idea number six, personalize your direct message to new followers. Idea number seven, a checklist for writing great tweets. Idea number eight, get more exposure with hashtags. Idea number nine, URL shortening tools. Idea number 10, I'm going to give you tweet themes. Idea number 11, a daily editorial calendar. Idea number 12, engaging your followers. Idea number 13, generate new leads from search.twitter.com.
Idea number 14, let's have a tweet up.
Idea number 15, syndicate your Twitter presence. And finally, sweet 16, retweet others' content. So let's get started. Idea number one is your Twitter ID and a good photograph. Prominently display your profile photo at the top of the page, and after you've done that, claim your Twitter ID. Here, the photograph on the left-hand side over here is a photograph that I use across every social media platform. This way, everybody knows that this is a recognizable ID for me. Second, you can see your Twitter handle. Mine right here is @DonnaLNewman. Most of you will want to take your first name, and if, unfortunately, like my first name was taken by a fabulous woman in southern Florida, I had to put in a middle initial. You may also be faced with that. So you may want to consider whether your nickname is most recognized, your full name, and if your full name or nickname is taken, then you're going to have to do something as simple as adding a middle initial. The size of your photograph is definitely high quality, and in order to get high quality, it'll be something that perhaps is a professional headshot, but it could measure up to 4 megabytes. The formats are a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG. And finally, your Twitter handle can only be chosen once, so choose it wisely. Once you have it, unfortunately, you are set with it and you can't edit it. So there's two tactics here. You can choose a personal photograph and a personal ID for a Twitter, or you can choose a personal photograph with a company ID. Let's say you're a realtor and you're a husband and wife team, or you are a realtor and a team of 4 or 5 or perhaps a little bit larger, but you want to brand your face. So I would recommend either you put your own photograph over there, a single photograph, or you put your husband and wife team photograph over there, or perhaps it's a small team of maybe 4 or 5. And then, instead of it being an @DonnaLNewman, it would be something like the name of your team. This way, you're equally branding your team as well as the faces of the strength behind that team name. Idea number 2, bio headline totally matters. There's two schools of thought here. Professional headline will either create conversation or SEO or a combination of the two. And here, case in point, up top, you've got a local gal, Drew Bloomfield. At first entry, she identifies herself as a realtor, and then she goes on to explain more adjectives that describe her catchy personality: blogger, photographer, creative, connected, collaborative, energetic, healthy, happy, tad, irreverent, focused, and fun. And then you have below that Linda Dawson, who uses a handle that immediately identifies her geography and also her industry, New Jersey Realtor number 1. And inside of her bio, she identifies more keywords that would help her with SEO than as much talking about her catchy personality. Realtor in Somerset County, New Jersey, specializing in residential new homes and land, commercial, and investment property. Neither are bad. I would recommend a combination of the two, to be honest. And then also you see Scottsdale, Arizona, or New Jersey. Go ahead and make sure that you import your location. And the final thing is you see the hyperlink for the website. Here, if at the first impression people see, ooh, I want to connect with Drew Bloomfield because I need a realtor, but I also like your personalities. Or I want to connect with Linda Dawson because she's right in my niche and I need some assistance in buying, selling, or investing. Based upon that and that call to action, the best way is to put your website in there so that people have a way to connect with you if they don't want to go to your large profile. The outstanding pro tip here is your 160 character bio on Twitter is public and it's open to search. So use keywords such as your company name and also your industry as much as your personality, and then you're going to help the Google index. Idea number 3, customize your homepage. Now obviously we've got a great in-staff design team that customized mine, but when you customize your page, you give them the first impression, and everybody will see your page when it comes up and they've got a chance to look at you. So here, I'm passing the blink test. And the best way for you to do that is to go to a free site, and it's www.freetwitterdesigner.com to design a background for easy recognition. They have a template, you upload some images, and within a short time, you've got your colors, you've got your branding, and you've got your logo, and you might even put a call to action there. Idea number 4, who to follow. A couple of definite ideas to consider would be interesting people, obviously. More interesting people than you so that you get some good ideas and there's always someone out there giving you new insights that you can share with your team. Leaders of your field, your interests. If someone follows you, then go ahead and check out their bio and see if they're worth following and what value they add to you. Also consider merchants in your neighborhood because these are people that you're building relationships with. There would be mutual branding and an opportunity for you to take their specials and market it to all of the people that you have as customers or prospects, and that will help you push out your brand to a much larger audience. Search.twitter.com. This is where we'll talk about a little bit later, but it's a great place for you to tap into people who are real-time searching for your industry, and you can decide if they're worth following. Then kind of a highbrow idea here is I really recommend on a regular basis, once a week, kind of setting out to follow 5 to 25 new people. But the caveat, I'm going to put a break on here and just say you can't follow too many people too fast because Twitter will automatically in their algorithm determine that, ooh, that's a spammer. And, you could get suspended. So just be mindful of that. But that 5 to 25 rule is definitely a good idea. That keeps your content fresh. That keeps your community growing because when you follow someone, they've got the opportunity to follow you back. Idea number 5, tweet lists. Tweet lists are groupings of your followers based in categories. They are tweets, which is followers. They can exist in multiple lists, but you can only at this juncture have 20 lists, and I've maxed out. Add each new person you follow the moment you follow them to the appropriate list when you follow them. So this also helps you focus on conversation streams for better engagement and community building because you can click on one of those lists and it automatically brings up all of the members in there and their real-time tweets. So when you're at the navigation menu, you've just decided that you want to follow this person, you're going to click follow, and then on the right side, you're going to click the icon with the drop-down arrow, and where the arrow is now pointing, you can add them to a list. The pro tip here is, don't just automatically follow everybody who follows you because they've simply followed you. We don't need to reciprocate simply by virtue of doing something. You need to reciprocate, honestly, if it's a value for you to follow them. Because if you follow them, your Twitter stream is going to get more and more compounded with tweets, and you want to make sure that you've got plenty of time to be able to go in and you don't overlook any important tweets. Idea number 6, personalize your DM or your direct message for followers. Because the adage or the maxim is people really buy from people, and the economy is not a B2B or a B2C anymore as much as it is a P2P, people to people. People buy people before they buy products and services. So with that in mind, here are some pro tips that I would give you in creating a direct message. A direct message is very similar to a private email. It goes directly to the person. It's not going to be put on your news feed. It's not going to be on your wall. Nobody else will see it. And you can have 140 characters. I know that seems like OMG. But you know what? If you can say everything you need to in 140 characters, more power to you, because then people are going to remember you, they're going to repeat you, and they're going to want to follow up with you. So with this being said, this is the best way for you to follow up. When people follow you, honestly, that is a lead. They're following you for a reason. So I would make sure that you reach out to them and thank them, perhaps even give them a great opportunity for a link or a free something, or to know a little bit more about you. Here's one of the realtors that I follow, and this is what they do. Now, this might not be your personality, so know that this is just an example, but this is very conversational. Woohoo! We're friends. Check out this video I made for you. And then she adds the link. The link actually is an introduction. It's about 30 seconds. It's fun, and it really focuses on how I, as a realtor, can benefit you. The best practice here when you're putting this direct message together is the prospect needs to have enough information of your talent, of your personality, plus the details to contact you. So if we go back to that idea, the woohoo, we're friends, is definitely an indication of your personality. You appreciate people. And then when you check out this video I made for you and have the link, that's a great way for people actually to follow up with you, because your contact information would be in the video. As well, it's an opportunity for them to see your talent in action. Idea number 7, a checklist for great tweets. Make sure your posts are 1 through 5. Short, under 140 characters so others can retweet them. I even recommend going so far as to having them about 70 or 80 characters. That way when people click retweet or reply, they're going to add their own couple of characters onto your tweet. And if you've already maxed out, then their content will be on there and some of yours will not, and there'll be an ellipse at the end of yours. So I'd recommend being even lighter on the content that you're speaking so that others feel very confident about retweeting it, and your content is every bit there as well as is theirs. And I'll show you examples. Second is detailed. You want in short order to answer those 5 questions like we did in our essays back in high school and college. The who, what, when, where, why, and even, if you can, add keywords to your tweet. Number 3, be very persuasive with active, not linking verbs. So don't use the is, the was, the will be, the were, because people can't imagine in their mind. They don't have any images that they can really act on. So use active verbs that excites people to read and really take action on your tweet. 5th is an at mention. And this is when you're hyperlinking specific followers to your post for a broader reach. So rather, let's say you have 100 followers. When I actually at mention one of my 100 followers in my post, it does definitely give her a notification. But it does more than that, because if she or he appreciates having been mentioned in my tweet, they're going to expose that tweet, the outcome of it or the benefit to them, to all of their followers. So now I've actually expanded my reach. Number 5, include hashtags. And hashtags are no more than keywords. These drive more followers, and they also add playful or professional themes and searches to your tweets. The biggest tip here is these tips get you higher click-through rates on Twitter, and they also get you more traffic to your links and more followers because you're very concise. You've given people a direction. They've got a strong takeaway. They know the value of not only reading the tweet, but then also acting on it. So going back to those exact examples of great tweets, I'm going to give you an exact idea of what one would look like. So here's how a short one would be perceived. A couple of days ago, the U.S. Real Estate at U.S. Estate had actually posted housing market shows a pulse, and then there's a shortened link right there. Very short, gives me an opportunity as a follower of them to retweet it and add my own commentary at the front end or the back end of it. An example of a detailed would be from Tallahassee Realtor. Why real estate service is so important during a move. They have a bit.ly link, and I'll talk about shortened links later. And then they have 2 hashtags. An active verb would be a post that I wrote several weeks ago in reference to the new Facebook timeline. 9 days away from the new timeline, so it's very timely. Have you upgraded? So that's engaging, and there's also a takeaway there. If you don't upgrade in 9 days, something's going to happen. An at mention. Carrie, one of our local realtors here in Arizona, actually at mentions 3 of her merchants in her neighborhood. At Chow Bella Phoenix, at Wine and Dine, and Groupon Phoenix, thereby giving more exposure and brand recognition to all of her merchants, to her database. And then if they're pleased about being a top story in her daily newsletter, they've got an opportunity to retweet this as well. Hashtags. Drew Bloomfield, Michael Orr at the Cromford Report sees a rise in HUD homes, suggests owner-occupants check out now. There's an Oli, which is also a shortened link, and she also has hashtags. So here, the idea is that if I click on Phoenix or real estate, I am going into a category, a subject category, that identifies every single tweet that was posted with Phoenix in it or with real estate. So I, as a realtor, if I go into Phoenix and someone is talking about needing to relocate to hashtag Phoenix, then I've got an opportunity immediately to consider them a lead and follow up with them, giving them perhaps an idea of the funnest things that you can do. Perhaps I can give them a free listing opportunity so they can search live MLS, etc. But I've got a great way to connect with people who are talking exactly about the keywords that my industry is. Idea number 8, exposure with hashtags. Think of hashtags as the theme of your tweet. And here's Nick Bastian, also a local realtor. Hey, at Tempe Gov, remember, that is an at mention. Thanks for the tip. Pound Tempe. So every time that he mentions Pound Tempe, that's going into a category of every tweet that mentions Tempe. And then, of course, he's got his bit.ly link. Best practices, users click on the hashtag to see other themed tweets and find yours in a search. In order for you to see maybe some hashtags that you could use that are already identified by the platform of Twitter, go to this website, usehashtag.org. It's a powerful way for you to make sure that you actually are using hashtags that have already been identified by the platform as topics that other people are using within their tweets. Pro tip here, using the pound means it is a tweet about a certain topic or event. For example, the Inman Connect New York had done pound IC New York in their tweet several weeks ago, or a hashtag could refer to themes, and it could be pound duplex or pound listing. So the duplex is referring to a property they're interested in, a listing could be one of your listings, or it could also be in reference to humor. Sometimes people at the very end of their tweet, just to kind of spew off some angst, they'll say pound oh dear, or pound hang on, or pound just saying. It's a fun way to create some dialogue. Idea number 9, shorten your URLs. Here is a tweet that I made on March 9th, and you can see that my link up here is on.fb.me/awesome rates. And you can identify underneath the headline original URL, that was the link of what my original URL was. So obviously, that's way more than 140 characters. So then I go into bit.ly.com, bit.ly.com, and I get a free account, and it gives me an opportunity to immediately paste that long URL into it, and it comes out with that short bit.ly. What also happens on bit.ly, and there are several other short URL users, but I think my favorite is bit.ly.com. This allows you not only to shorten your URL, but it allows you to track the number of clicks that people made, whether it's from Twitter or any other place that you use this bit.ly, and it allows you to see what kind of traffic you have coming in. Idea number 10, tweet themes. Now you can follow all the most amazing people in the world, and you can have the most powerful first impression by virtue of your headline and your photograph, but let's be honest. Content is truly king, no matter what your platform, but definitely on Twitter. So produce consistent quality tweets. And let me give you 5 themes. First one is reward. Tweet updates about special offers, discounts, and time-sensitive deals. Now, as a realtor, you might not just have those personally, but you have a community that you work in. And these can be merchants that offer these time-sensitive deals and discounts, and you want to be able to be a value resource in between the buying and the selling and the needing of you. So a lot of time can go between someone needing your resources again. But if you provide yourself as a continual resource, you'll not only benefit the merchant, but the merchant will probably want to tweet about you. Expertise. When you reference articles and links about real estate market trends that not only you've identified, perhaps in your own blog, but perhaps it's the Cromford Report or what other local references you have, people are realizing that you are on top of your game, and you're also announcing this to them as though perhaps it's the first time they've heard it. So they're going to give you the credit for coming up with the information. Success. Blog stories about what sold in your area. By you, how much, and how fast with a link. Here, people don't hear enough of this. We already know what the news propagates. If you've got an opportunity to take advantage of some really good success stories, maybe it's the selling, maybe it's your client's daughter who got a blue ribbon, go ahead and talk about it because people would love to circulate that. And of course, your name is branded on it. A fourth idea is local. People looking to move want to know what they can do in their town. So when you take advantage of talking about maybe the themes, maybe the events, the activities that are happening, it gives them an opportunity to feel the culture of your community and get excited, not just about calling you, but more important, about being in that community and then calling you. Fifth theme is retweeting. Here, you're going to listen and you're going to share others' useful information to build relationships with not only them, but then other people who are going to benefit from that additional sharing. And then ultimately, you're going to have some conversion. Idea number 11, an editorial calendar. An editorial calendar is all about having a strategy, a big picture. And when you've got a big picture and you know where you're headed, it is easy to hit your mark. So what Twitter asks you is, on your status update, they say, what's happening? And you get to write an original post or tweet. Here, you're going to see in the bottom left corner underneath the blue box, a photograph. And the majority of people on Twitter are from the United States, and the majority of those people are actually women. And you know women, we love things in full color, we appreciate more than just a few words. So when you can take advantage of uploading a photograph that is a powerful image, whether it's you and a happy customer, it's you in a goofy shot, it's you and your family, it's you in the neighborhood, take full advantage of that because you'll have greater retweets, greater conversion, and more people talking about it and also clicking through your links. You can see the 140 characters, so as you begin to put more characters into the box, that number decreases all the way to 0. Once you get to 0, you can add no more. That's great. The best practice that Twitter actually could ever give you is by helping you be concise. So here are a couple of specific ideas. I recommend that once you're ready, again, I'm going to give you the 16 super effective ways to dominate this platform, And when you're ready to do that, you're going to put your editorial calendar together. And I'd recommend anywhere from 2 to 5 tweets a day. Best time probably to start tweeting is in the morning or late morning, and then around that lunchtime hour. But again, everybody's community, everybody's followers are different. So start to identify when that momentum happens, and you'll then know the best times of day. But maybe at first just let it be the most convenient for you, and once you get momentum, you'll start to listen to what other people are doing. Specific tweet ideas, a blog post. This will link back to your blog, which is great because that's more branding. Puts you as the expert. Ask a question. Anytime you ask somebody a question, it's so amazing how we instinctually want to answer it. It's because, of course, we have an opinion. Another idea is a neighborhood image. Maybe it's a merchant. You remember in one of the earlier examples I gave you how there were 3 at mentions from one of the Realtors examples. And when you also put a neighborhood image of one of those merchants, they get more branding power. One of the best followers, while it's outside of your industry, is at Whole Foods. Watch them. Look to see how they do things, because this is something that you can actually customize for your own industry. An inspirational or a witty quote. Everybody needs to be inspired and motivated. And when you can also give them a humorous quote, they're going to remember that. And when they remember, you know that they repeat. And of course, when they repeat, your name's going to be attached to it. Be a helpful resource and add a link. One of the best examples of a company that does this exceptionally consistently well is at JetBlue. And then showcase outside of the work stories. Showcase what is your team doing outside of buying and selling real estate. Maybe they're running a 10K. Maybe they're volunteering for Habitat for the Humanity. Maybe they are demonstrating their skills in a classroom. Home Depot is a great place to follow because they do this exceptionally well with all of their employees. An event link or an activity or even a video. More people love to watch video than any other medium. So the big tip I can give you here is when you're actually putting together your tweets, use keywords or hot topics in your posts. And I'll show you a little bit later how to identify that. But here are some examples that I've been finding realtors put or consumers are talking about inside of their tweets. Homes, investor, selling a home, relocation, looking for a home, duplex, condo. Come up with your own, but don't just come up with your own from what you think academically they're going to be using. Watch them. What are people talking about? What hashtags are they using? And you want to go to hashtag.org from the earlier slide and look to see what are some of the keywords that they're using inside of their tweets that will allow you to follow up with them. Idea number 12, follow to engage and convert. You bet. Everything about any social media site is always about a two-way conversation. Let me just show you how it happens. It's pretty simple. You say stuff, your followers read it, and sometimes they reply. Second, you read what your followers write, and sometimes you reply. Third, someone tweets something really useful. You retweet it so others can see it. And it's really that simple of a conversation. So when you do this, these simple practices will build your followers, build your reputation, and build your customers' trust of you because you're active, you're engaging, and they're watching that you're listening. And the best practice is always to respond to compliments and feedback in real time. Don't get onto Twitter and then you're getting back on maybe a week later, a month later, 3 weeks later, and you're realizing there's been a lot of activity and you've not responded. Because these people consider that when they give a compliment, retweet you, or want a response, they also want real-time feedback from you. Search.twitter.com is idea number 13. Discover what your target market is talking and searching about. This is probably one of the best takeaways of these 16 super effective ways to dominate Twitter. Here's an idea. When you actually go to search.twitter.com, you're going to access it in your browser window, http://search.twitter.com. And here's an example of one of the searches that you can do. This is an advanced search, and this is all free. In the Twitter search box, you're going to enter this exact example. You're going to write the word near, you're going to do a colon, you're going to add a zip code, and I put the example of 85255, and then you're going to put the keyword in. I put the example of house. So as a realtor, when you're putting this in, you're going to have a drop down of all the live tweets that have happened from most current down hours. It's probably not going to go days, but it'll give you an opportunity to go ahead and see everybody who lives in that zip code that has actually used the word house in their tweet. And this is a valuable tool for you as an agent, because now you've got these warm leads of people who are either looking, wanting, they're doing something that allows you in your neighborhood to connect with them. And how you follow up with them is immediately doing a reply, doing an @ mention in an original status or tweet of your own, or retweeting to a Twitter member with a valuable tip. Perhaps you're going to give them a listing, perhaps you're going to give them an idea. And this is a powerful way for you to follow up. This is your opportunity to follow up so that you can deliver your expertise, get to know them, and deliver something that they're needing to have information about. Single best practice is to regularly monitor the comments about your company, your brand, and your products, and also location. And how you do that, again, is going to search.twitter.com. You input just keywords, and you're going to come up with some tweets that have just happened. You will be overlooking a huge advantage of using Twitter if you do not do this particular search. Idea number 14, tweet ups. A very clever realtor in southern Florida had actually done this. Now, he created an open house. He tweeted about an open house to draw more attendees. He did the open house as he's always done, but a couple of days before he did his open house, he decided that he was going to tweet about it and create what's called a tweet up. A tweet up is literally taking conversation amongst followers on this social media platform and having them engage with you face-to-face offline. And so he encouraged people to come in to his open house and have a tweet up. He created a hashtag. As you can see, it's #GolfAnyone. He put pictures. This was some of the post tweeting that he did after the open house. But by doing this, the outcome was he got more followers, he got more page views of the property. And of course, the page views of the property is closer to actually helping people convert. So you want to ask attendees who are actually at your tweet up to post photographs, and of course everybody likes a picture of themselves being circulated amongst fans and followers. You might also want to ask them to retweet the event and also @ mention the event. And both of those retweet and @ mentions, as well as posting photographs, all three of those, they give longer life to an actual event, and that gives you more Google juice. So if anybody's searching, again, doing a hashtag search, they're going to see a lot of posting about that particular property, about that particular open house. Your name as a realtor is going to be branded to it, and it gives you an opportunity to have more elements out there on the search engines, as well as an opportunity for more qualified buyers to come and want to use your products. Idea number 15, syndicate your Twitter. So you don't want to operate as an island and just have a Twitter account. Here you can see everything coming up here to give you some ideas on how to acquire new followers and establish your expertise. So the best practice here is to add your Twitter handle to everything, including the website, your email signature, your blog homepage and your posts, promotional products, flyers and yard signs, your email newsletter, business cards, articles, and slides. Sweet 16. Idea number 16, retweet others' content. Retweets, by far, get you new followers and sales leads simply because you practice the art of being interested in another person. So here are some pro tips. When you like what someone has tweeted about, you can actually click in the blue circle reply, and that'll take you to an open box on your page where you've already got their handle at the very front end of the comment, and then you can post an original comment that follows up with them. Or you can actually retweet the entire post by clicking retweet, and that goes onto your Twitter wall through your news feed. giving them more branding to all of your followers, giving your followers an opportunity to have a quality takeaway or quality information coming to them. So the end goal of doing this is it builds community and it can drive significant upswing in word of mouth referrals, both for you and the person that you retweeted or replied to, as well as moving your prospects, your Twitter followers, closer through or further through the sales funnel cycle. So that is Twitter. Thank you. And in a nutshell, it helps you discover what your target market is talking about and what it's searching for. It also allows you to identify specific people who are doing the talking and the searching so you can tactfully follow up with them. Dominate Twitter in 16 easy steps. Hey, if you've got questions, comments, ideas, or thoughts, I would love to hear them. You can see my company Twitter handle up there at WBYSM or at Donna L. Newman. You can also send a Facebook message. My company is http://www.facebook.com/WBYSM. And together, these 16 super effective ways to dominate Twitter from a realtor's perspective will also help you leapfrog your competition. Then go back to the fundamentals, and from there, just like Vince and I say, you can do anything well. This is Donna Newman. Thanks so much for joining.
All I know is when other clients watched this tutorial, they knew exactly how their business could thrive on Twitter. With a clear system for Twitter marketing, then you're well on your way to attracting more followers who are genuinely interested in you and your brand. Remember, stats prove that 79% of Twitter followers are more likely to recommend the brands that they follow. Join me next time for another Twitter marketing tutorial. But in the meantime, feel free to tweet us whenever you'd like a Twitter insight or just say hi.